Welcome back to the Master of Mirrors. Tonight's reflection is cracked, twisted, and terrifying. If you are ready to face the truth, dim the lights. Let's gaze into the abyss together.
I'm writing this from my living room with all the lights on and a chair wedged under the doorknob. I know how cliché that sounds. God, I know. But I need to get this written down before I convince myself I imagined it. For context, I, 26 female, have been hiking the Cascades since I was big enough to carry my own water bladder. I'm not a tourist who tries to pet the bison. I know the trails, I carry a PLB, personal locator beacon, and I know when to turn back. Yesterday, I decided to hit a trail I won't name, about 3 hours east of Seattle. It's a rigorous 8-miler with a scramble at the top, usually pretty empty on Tuesdays. The ascent was perfect. Cold, crisp air, the smell of pine and damp earth. I didn't see a single soul on the way up. I reached the false summit around 1 p.m. and stopped to eat my sandwich. This specific spot overlooks a deep, U-shaped valley. Across from where I sat, maybe 400 yards away, is a parallel ridgeline. It's rugged, full of loose scree and jagged rock. Impassable, mostly. That's where I saw the figure. I was chewing a mouthful of turkey when a flash of color caught my eye on that opposite ridge, bright neon orange. I remember thinking, damn, someone is way off trail. I pulled out my monocular, I use it for bird watching, to see if they were stuck or signaling for help. When I focused the lens, my stomach dropped so hard I almost threw up. The person was standing on a needle of rock that shouldn't have been able to support a human's weight. But that wasn't the scary part. The scary part was their gear. They were wearing a neon orange Arc'teryx shell, black leggings, a gray beanie with a white pom-pom. I looked down at myself. I was wearing a neon orange Arc'teryx shell, black leggings, a gray beanie with a white pom-pom. My first thought was a rational, desperate one. Coincidence. It's popular gear. Just another girl with the same taste. I waved. If they were stuck, I needed to know. Through the monocular, I watched the figure. It didn't wave back. It stood perfectly, unnaturally still. The wind was whipping my hair across my face, tearing at my jacket. But across the valley, the figure's clothes didn't move. The pom-pom in the hat was frozen in place, like a statue. Then the figure moved. It didn't walk. It didn't climb. It glitched. That's the only way I can describe it. 1 second, it was standing on the needle rock. The next frame of reality, it was 50 yards down the slope, closer to the valley floor, closer to me. I lowered the monocular, rubbing my eyes, thinking the altitude was messing with me. When I looked back up with just my naked eyes, the orange spot was gone. I scanned the ridge. Nothing, just gray rock and snow. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Okay, I thought, hypoxia, dehydration. You're tripping. Drink some water and head down. I packed up quickly, feeling exposed. The silence of the mountain, usually my favorite part, suddenly felt heavy, oppressive, like the air pressure had dropped. I started the scramble down. Crunch, crunch, crunch. My boots on the gravel. Crunch, crunch, crunch. An echo. I stopped. The echo stopped. I took one deliberate step. Crunch. From the valley floor to my left, which should have been hundreds of feet below me, came a sound. Not a footstep. It was a voice. It sounded exactly like me. Hello? It wasn't a question shouted by a stranger. It was a recording of me. It was the exact tone and pitch I used when I test my voice on video calls. I froze. My heart was hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. Hello? The voice came again, closer. It was coming from just below the ridgeline I was standing on. I didn't look. I didn't wait. I ran. I know the #1 rule of hiking is don't run, especially on a descent, but primal terror takes over. I practically skied down the scree, ankle-breaking speed, sliding and scrambling. Behind me, I heard the sound of sliding rocks, heavy displacement. Something massive was coming up the slope, moving with a speed that shouldn't be possible for anything on two legs. I didn't hear growling. I didn't hear heavy breathing. I heard mimicry. Shit, 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 I heard from behind me. It was my voice. It was repeating what I was whispering to myself as I ran. I hit the timberline and sprinted into the trees. The trail here is full of switchbacks. I cut them, tearing my leggings on briars, sliding through mud. The mimicking stopped, replaced by the sound that was worse, the sound of snapping trees, not twigs, trees, crashing down one after another, getting closer, like a torpedo moving through the forest. I hit the trailhead parking lot 20 minutes later. I've never unlocked a car so fast in my life. I threw myself into the driver's seat and locked the doors. I sat there for a moment, hyperventilating, staring at the dark tree line. Nothing emerged. The woods were dead silent. No birds, no wind. I drove home. I didn't turn on the radio. I checked my rearview mirror every 10 seconds. I got home an hour ago. I live alone. I locked everything. I showered to get the mud off, trying to scrub away the feeling of being watched. I got out of the shower and walked into my bedroom to get dressed. My phone was on the bed. I had left it on the kitchen counter. It was unlocked, open to my Photos app. The most recent photo was taken 10 minutes ago. It's a picture of me, in the shower, taken from the crack in the bathroom door. I'm in the living room now. I have a knife. I called the police, but they said it'll be 20 minutes because I'm in a rural area. I hear something scratching at the living room window. It sounds like a fingernail tapping against the glass. Tap, tap, tap. And now I hear a voice from the other side of the window. Open the door. I'm cold. It's my voice. Edit. The tapping stopped. I see blue lights down the road. Thank God. Edit 2. The police checked the perimeter. They found footprints in the mud under my window. They said they look like hiking boots, size 7. I wear a size 7. They didn't find anyone. They're leaving a patrol car out front for the night, but they can't come inside. I'm looking at the photo on my phone again. The angle. Whoever took it had to be tall or floating. And there's something else. In the mirror reflection in the photo, the shower curtain is pulled back. But I keep the curtain closed when I shower. Always. I don't think I'm alone in here.
The story may be over, but the reflection remains. If you survived this tale, leave a like to ward off the bad luck. To gaze further into the abyss, make sure you subscribe to the Master of Mirrors and ring the bell. You never know what might be standing behind you in the next video. Watch your back.